Hi beautiful butterflies, we are going to make some challah Play-Doh. So we're just going to make regular Play-Doh, and the ingredients we need to start off: flour, salt, cream of tartar, some vegetable oil, and some warm water. You can also add in food coloring if you want to make it a different color. But first we're going to just make plain white so it looks like challah. So the instructions say for us to stir the flour. So we need 2 cups of flour. And we're going to just pour it straight into our pot. So 1, 2 cups of flour. Next, we need to add in our salt. So we're going to add in 3/4 of a cup of salt. And then we also need to add in our cream of tartar. So cream of tartar, if you don't have it at home, that's okay. You can leave it out of the recipe. This acts as a preservative, so it just stays fresher longer. So instead of getting 2 to 3 weeks out of it, you might only get a week or 2 out of it. And we need 4 teaspoons. So I've got my little teaspoon measuring. Can you count with me? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got that. Now we're gonna mix all of it together so you can see all of our flour, our salt, and our cream of tartar are mixing in. So now we're gonna add in some warm water. So I have a little bit of warm water. So we need 2 cups. So I'm gonna fill this up to the 2 mark and pour it in. Parents, also, if you wanted to add in a little bit of essential oil or vanilla extract to make it smell, you can add a little bit in that. So we added our warm water. We're stirring it. Now we're also going to add in our oil. And we need 2 tablespoons, so a little bit bigger than our teaspoon, so a tablespoon. So we're going to pour it in. 1, 2. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and mix it all together before we put it on the stove. So this is really important for mommies and daddies to help you while you're using the stove, because we don't want you to get burned. Parents, while your butterfly is mixing the Play-Doh, you can sing the ABCs, you can count to 20, give them lots of different options to work on counting and singing while they're practicing stirring. And also, if you have multiple children, you can say, okay, first person's gonna count to 20 and then let's count backwards. And so you can make it educational as you go. So this is what it's gonna look like before we put it on the stove. All right, now we're gonna cook it over medium heat for just a few minutes, and then we know it's gonna be done when it forms a ball. So let's put it on the stove. Okay, so we're gonna light the stove. Be very, very careful. We're gonna put it on. We're just gonna continuously stir. So this is a good point for mommies and daddies to take over and stir while it's over the heat, so that way our butterflies don't get burned. So we're just gonna continue and make sure you scrape the edges to get all of that extra flour out. I'm gonna turn the heat down just a little bit. Continue to stir. And you can kind of hear it starting to sizzle just a tiny bit. You know that the ingredients are mixed together and forming that ball. See how it's starting to form that ball? And it only really takes a couple of minutes on the heat for it to form. So you want to make sure that your Play-Doh forms a ball before taking it off the heat. see. Does this look like a ball? I think so. So now we're going to dump the Play-Doh out on a piece of wax paper or parchment paper to cool. So we're going to turn off the heat. Okay, so we've just dumped our Play-Doh out onto some parchment paper. If you don't have parchment paper or wax paper, you can put it directly onto your counter. You might want to sprinkle a little bit of flour to make it so it doesn't stick. And we're going to press it down and fold it back in. Press and fold, press and fold, and kind of work it all around. This is still kind of a good job for mommies or daddies or nannies to do because the Play-Doh is warm and we don't want our butterflies to get burned. We're going to kind of keep pressing it, moving it all around into different sections so it cools faster. So once you knead all of your Play-Doh, it's time for us to start making some challah. So one of the skills that we're going to work on is rolling long snakes of the dough. So butterflies, once your Play-Doh is cool, you're going to take a little piece, just like this, and you're going to practice rolling. See how I take my flat hand and I roll it back and forth, back and forth. I can even use two hands if it starts to get long. And I'm rolling lots of snakes. Okay, so we're gonna practice rolling snakes. So if your butterfly is ready to move on to another step of practicing rolling and braiding the challah. Now this isn't real challah dough, it's just Play-Doh, but we're gonna pretend that it's real challah dough. You can make 3 or 4 different snakes to practice braiding. So I'm gonna control this. See how I'm rolling it? So I've got 1, 2, 3. Oops, that one broke. Let's try it again. I can also roll it between my hands like this to make my snakes. So you can 1, 2, 3. So you can practice going over and under to braid your challah. Over. This is a great skill to also work on teaching phrases like over and under. So here's my first attempt at a Play-Doh challah. You can also just continue to build your hand strength by squeezing it and just playing with it. This is a great creative moment where they can make other things. So maybe you make a challah and now you want to make maybe a kiddish cup, or you want to make candlesticks. So you can use the Play-Doh. We left it white, but if you want to, you can take the white dough. This is a little bit messy, but you can take the white dough and you can add in some food coloring. Butterflies, what color is this? You're right, blue. So I'm just gonna add in a couple dots, and then I'm gonna very carefully kind of just knead it to mix that dough and the food coloring. It will get on your hands, so if you don't want to, you can wear gloves. Or if you only wanna make one color Play-Doh, you can add the food coloring in when you add the water and the oil. So I'm just trying to mix it all in. You may need to add a few more drops. So kind of spread it out and see. Add 1 or 2 more drops. And then again, fold it and roll it all in. So now I have some blue Play-Doh. Mix it all up. Got like a light blue. And then, what other color should I do? I think I heard a green, so we can make green with another one. So we're gonna take that white Play-Doh again, push it down, Add in some green food coloring. So you get to decide whichever color you want to make your Play-Doh. Or you can leave it white. So again, very carefully squish it all around, mix that food coloring. It's getting on my hands, but no big deal. It will wash off. So then you can make your different Play-Dohs. So again, the skill we're kind of working on is rolling out snakes. You can also give them cookie cutters and scissors to practice cutting. Obviously some kid appropriate scissors, but it's a great skill to work on the fine motor and cutting. So they can cut pieces of Play-Doh. They can put other items in it like jewels or gems, anything to extend the activity. So enjoy your Play-Doh. When you're all done with your Play-Doh, making your different colors and playing with it, I suggest storing it in an airtight container with a lid or in a Ziploc bag so you can seal out the air. That will help it stay fresh longer. Make sure you squeeze out the air, and you can also keep it in the refrigerator to help preserve it. So I hope you enjoy. Send us your videos of making your Play-Doh and your challah. Love you. Mwah.